Hello everyone, I'm Roger Heathers and I'm going to do you a list of my favourite albums from 2017. A couple of my friends are doing their top albums of 2017 list, and I saw the Needle Drops list as well, his top 50 albums. So I've tried to shoot this video twice already, and I kind of went long and sprawling with all of my explanations, and the video was like 25 minutes long. So I'm going to go through 5 albums this year that I thought were the best of the year, and then 5 albums which I have just enjoyed this year, which didn't come out this year. So, starting off the list, a guy who I got the privilege of seeing live this year, a couple of months ago, is Father Joe Misty with his new album Pure Comedy. This album is grand and well written and harkens back to sort of 1970s singer-songwriters, where there was a trend of a guitar, piano-based singer-songwriter being surrounded by these lush orchestrations, these strings and choirs and that sort of thing. An album that kind of touches on some elements of negativity but through a comedic light, world issues, a kind of a funny look at the dystopian future of mankind, and but just, you know, beneath all that, very well written, beautifully crafted songs. Okay, number 2 on the list is Wiley and his album Godfather, which came out this year, and I just recently learned that he's got a sequel coming out to the album next year, which I'm looking forward to. This is UK, London-based grime music. Wiley is, by all accounts, the godfather of grime, and grime is a genre that I'm fairly new to. I kind of got into Skepta and JME, and Wiley this year, and I picked up this album at Rough Trade Records when I visited London earlier this year. A great grime record, full of energy, and just sounds huge. Number 3 on the list, some California-based hip-hop with Tyler the Creator's Scumfuck Flower Boy. This is Tyler's 4th album, and I'd say his best. I really enjoyed Wolf when it came out. No wait, it's his 5th album. So I think. Anyway, I enjoyed Wolf when it came out. I think that Cherry Bomb took a kind of a dip a little bit with his discography, but what I've always thought he could play up on is the jazz influence, the Stevie Wonder type of influence, the Quincy Jones influence, all this sort of stuff that goes into his music, and I feel like he's really touched on that and really matured as an artist, and his lyrics have developed, his beats have developed, they sound bigger than ever, and I'm hoping that on the next album he goes into it with sort of a live band, basically. He did an NPR Tiny Desk session recently where he had this band with him, and it seemed like a step in a more creative direction for him, so I hope that continues, and I love Flower Boy, so check it out. Number 4 on the list, this is a 3-piece American rock band, Remo Drive, with their album Greatest Hits, which is ironically their first debut album. This is fast, melodic punk music. It sounds like a great mix between home recorded and studio produced sheen. I think it's like 10 or 11 tracks, just very well written, well crafted, melodic punk music. If you like Lagwagon or NoFX or any bands like that, then definitely check this out. This is very cool. Okay, number 5 on the list is Dizzy Rascal's Rasket, another grime album this year that I've enjoyed. Rasket came out in July, I think, or something like that, or even earlier this year. Anyway, but I picked it up again. I think it was in London, another London trip I did. But in fact, I think it was the same trip where I saw Father Joe Misty live. I picked up Dizzy Rascal's Rasket, and it shares a lot of the same qualities that I really like in Wiley's Godfather. The energy's great, the samples are great, Dizzy's own production on some of the songs on this album are really good. The wordplay's fantastic, and on songs like Space, his delivery over the beats is like nothing I've ever heard him do before. He kind of went through like a pop phase, and I think he's back to this kind of this rootsy sound, this grimy sound, which I hope he continues on to future records. Okay, and on to some albums that I enjoyed this year which did not come out this year. The first one, I'm new to this band, which is a shame because I feel like I should have delved into them ages ago. But the Carpenters' self-titled album Carpenters. This has got a great Bacharach medley on it. it's just good all the way through. I kind of bought it secondhand for like £1 or two at like a charity shop or a secondhand shop or something, and I was painting and I put it on and I could just play it front to back, and I ended up flipping it over a bunch of times and just listening to this album again and again and again. Just has amazing replay value, amazingly produced. Again, kind of like the Father John Misty album, there's like these giant synths and choirs. The vocal harmonies are really cool, and yeah, Carpenters. I'm aware that I'm actually talking for longer than I intended to. I tried to make these things like 1 or 2 sentences, but anyway. Okay, next on the list is Ween's White Pepper. This is an album released in the year 2000, and from what I've heard, White Pepper refers to the Beatles' White Album and the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper, and takes a lot of influence from this. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but the songwriting on this album is, I don't know, it seems to be reminiscent of the Beatles in a lot of ways. I chose White Pepper to put on this list because I've been listening to loads of Ween this year, but I think it's the most accessible album that they put out. They're a genre-hopping bands with good songwriting at the core, especially from the Mollusk onwards, 1997's The Mollusk. White Pepper's a great album to check out if you like things that jump around and have a lot of genre roulette and a lot of different styles, and touches on loads of different moods, from the silly to the profound, and it's a good album. Okay, next up, an album that is kind of a weird anomaly on this list, which is John Bryan's home demos from 1991 to 1995. John Bryan is a collaborator, or was a collaborator, with Elliott Smith, Kanye West on Late Registration, and just I think kind of quietly a musical genius, with a lot of different tones to his music, a lot of different things he brings to other people's records. I think he's got like one official album that isn't a soundtrack under his belt, that you can find on his Wikipedia page. I forget the name of it, but it's a little, I don't know, it feels a little overcooked in my opinion, but I need to come back and give it another listen. But what isn't overcooked, and actually could be argued is undercooked, is these home demos. It's just like 2 hours of these fantastic demos, obviously home recorded, either on a 4 or an 8 track, probably cassette recorded, on a real budget. The songs shine through, the arrangement shines through, it has no frills to it, it's just drums, organ, guitar, bass, vocal, and it just sounds fantastic. What else was I going to say about this album? Yeah, you can't really buy it anywhere to my knowledge. If you can, please let me know in the comments, because I really would love to have this on CD or vinyl or whatever, or even just MP3, just like individual tracks, but I had to download it from YouTube. You can type it in on YouTube in the search bar, and you can find it there, and I just downloaded it as one long track, and I haven't got around to actually like slicing it up yet, so I've just got this one long track, and I just stick it onto the car sometimes when I'm driving, and it's just top quality songwriting. Next on the list, I've gotten into Paul Simon in a big way this year. There Goes Rhymin' Simon is the album I've chosen to represent my newfound love for Paul Simon. I've always been a fan of Simon and Garfunkel. I've delved into their back catalogue by using my local record shop to kind of delve into that. But There Goes Rhymin' Simon has got some of the most experimental music of that era. My favourite Paul Simon era, 1970 to 1975. Yeah, just some really great reggae-inspired stuff, soul-inspired stuff, doo-wop vocals. He brings in other musicians on the album, and his songwriting is at its top peak. So, very good album to check out if you haven't really heard Paul Simon before. Okay, last on my list is Randy Newman's Sail Away. I got this in a package of, like, you can get 5 albums at HMV, which you kind of you pick up, and it's like an era of an artist, or an artist like 5 top albums, and you can get it for like a tenner. And I listened through to these, and they kind of got better and better as they went along, and they were a little bit rocky and derivative at the beginning, in my opinion. And then you get to albums like Sail Away and Little Criminals, and you get these fantastic ballads, which are just so bittersweet, so well written, and so just carry so much pathos to them. Sail Away is a fantastic example. Look up the full album stream, so I'm sure it's on YouTube, so check that out. And that's pretty much it for this year. I actually made the video short, and which I'm kind of glad for, because the previous videos I made, like I say, they were like 20-25 minutes long, and it just had me kind of going, like, explaining the makeup of every single track, and But yeah, I just wanted to give a concise list of all the albums I've enjoyed in 2017 that came out that were new and old. Okay, so also if you're here at the end of the video, thank you for watching, comment and like, and yeah, comment your favourite albums of this year. I'd be genuinely interested to know what other people have enjoyed this year. If you are still here, I'm going to plug 2 albums that I put out this year. The first one is my 6th annual album. I put out an album every Boxing Day, and this is called Winter Tape 6. I Don't See Your Name on it, and here's the artwork. Also, I'm in a band called Pea Green Boat, which put out an album called The Wind Will Guide Your Train this year, so go and check those out. Stream them, download them, buy them, and yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video, hope you've enjoyed this year, and look forward to more new albums next year. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.